Have you ever wished there was a practical, time-tested roadmap for finding some real inner peace? Well, today, we're diving into a fascinating text, the Yogacara Bhumi's Shastra, to uncover its timeless guide for cultivating a pure and calm mind. Let's get right into it. Right at the beginning, the text hits us with this powerful idea. It basically says, to be free from worldly desire is to be free from the world itself. And wow, this really sets the stage, doesn't it? It speaks to that deep human quest to break free from the constant cycle of wanting more, of feeling dissatisfied. It's about making a journey from the everyday chaos to something truly transcendent. So here's the path we're going to take together. First, we'll figure out what this whole purity thing is really about. Then, we'll look at the fundamental tools to get there. After that, we'll see how you can actually use them in your day-to-day life, discover the amazing benefits, and wrap up with the one key that makes it all stick. Okay, so first things first. Before we start talking about solutions, we need to be really clear on what we're even aiming for. What's the actual destination on this path? The text calls the goal chuli, which we can translate as liberation. Just think for a second about the mental noise we live with every day, the constant pings from our phones, the never-ending to-do lists, the anxieties. The goal here is the total opposite of that. It's about finding a deep sense of calm and clarity, a stable, centered peace that isn't shaken by all that outer turmoil. So, how in the world do we find that kind of peace? Well, the text gives us a foundational answer: practicing precepts. Now, I know what you might be thinking. The word precepts, or rules, can sound, well, restrictive, right? Like a cage. But as we're about to see, this text totally flips that idea on its head. It reframes them not as limitations, but as powerful tools for finding real freedom. The term for this is Shila Samvara, or ethical discipline. And this is not about blindly following a list of do's and don'ts. It's about making a conscious commitment to helpful, wholesome conduct. The text calls this the genben, the absolute root or foundation that everything else grows from. And to help us really get it, the text uses a bunch of beautiful metaphors. Okay, but let's be real. A term like ethical discipline still sounds pretty abstract. What does it actually feel like to live this way? This is where the text gets really creative and makes it all feel incredibly real. First off, it's a root. Just imagine the earth itself. It's the stable ground that allows every single plant, flower, and tree to grow strong. In the same way, this discipline is the solid ground for all your other good qualities, like compassion, focus, and wisdom, to really flourish. Without that solid ground, nothing else can truly take root. Now get this, it's also described as an ornament. And the text makes such a brilliant point here. Think about it. Fancy clothes and expensive jewelry, they often look best on the young. But the beauty of a good character, of integrity, kindness, and honesty, that kind of beauty looks good on anyone at any age. It's an inner glow that never ever fades. Then, it's described as a perfume. You know that hot, prickly, uncomfortable feeling you get from anger or anxiety? Well, the text says this practice is like applying a cool, soothing balm to your mind. It literally cools down that inner heat from all those difficult emotions, bringing a real, tangible sense of relief and calm. And finally, it's like incense. When you live with integrity, the positive effects just naturally spread out, kind of like the scent of incense on the wind. Your good reputation, the good vibes you put out, they travel far and wide, influencing the world around you without you even having to try. So we get the what and the why, the metaphors are beautiful, but the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we bring this into our messy, busy, everyday lives? Well, the text gives us a very down-to-earth approach. It breaks it all down into 3 simple areas. First, just your movement, bringing a bit of mindful awareness to how you walk, stand, or sit. Nothing complicated. Second, your daily actions, making sure that everything, from eating your lunch to washing the dishes, is done with a good intention. And third, the positive things you actively choose to do, like learning something new, helping someone out, or meditating. See? It's a full circle approach to bringing this practice to life. Okay, we know what it is, we know how to do it. But let's get to the good part. What's in it for us? Why go through the effort? This is where it gets really, really motivating. The text doesn't just promise some vague reward in the future. It lays out very specific, powerful benefits you get from this practice. In fact, it lists 10. Not 1 or 2, but 10 specific victorious powers that come from living this way. 10 clear, profound results that come directly from cultivating this inner discipline. Let's check out a few of them. It all starts with this amazing psychological domino effect. When you live in a way that doesn't cause harm, you don't have regrets, and a mind that's free from regret just naturally feels joyful. From there, you sleep better, you wake up more peacefully. I mean, who doesn't want that? Your mind becomes calmer and clearer. And because your mind is clear, your goals, whatever they are, become easier to reach. It's like each benefit builds on the last, creating this incredible momentum towards genuine freedom. So if you take away one thing, let it be this. This whole idea isn't about a cage of rules designed to hold you back, not at all. It's the blueprint for building a sanctuary inside yourself. It's about consciously creating the inner environment where happiness, peace, and freedom can just naturally show up and thrive. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important piece of this entire puzzle. Okay, this all sounds great, but how do you keep it going? The text wraps up with one simple, direct, and incredibly powerful instruction. This last piece of advice comes from the Buddha himself, talking to his own son. He says, repeatedly and correctly observe your actions of body, speech, and mind. That's it. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a continuous practice of self-awareness, of just paying attention, moment to moment. That's the engine that powers this whole path. So in the end, this ancient text isn't just giving us rules, it's handing us a mirror, and it leaves us with one simple question. Are we willing to take a look?